With the nickname and one under the belt now, is there any feeling that this is where things really get going for you guys?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I think it's just one of those things we've managed to. You always want to have your best players playing. Nick's certainly a part of that. So I think for him, he's been working towards it probably from the start of the year, getting there, making sure he's had enough fitness to play, and he played Waffle and then he's played AFL now. So I think for him, it'll just be about getting his confidence back and then getting as much minutes and time as he can. But as you saw on the weekend, he can have a very good impact on our team.
Yeah. Did you feel there was another change when he's in the ruck?
Well, I think it's more the hit out or the advantage dominance you can have. So then at times, from a midfielder's point of view, I think you can probably be a bit more aggressive. So get the ball going your way, especially a bit of wet football, get the ball going your way. So there is an advantage. But having said that, I think our rucks in the past 3 years have certainly found a way to, either if we've got Nick in there, Scotty Lycett, Hickey, Vardy, to be able to add a few different layers, which makes it hard for opposition.
How would you feel if Darren Sandilands was back for the Dockers this week?
That'd be fine. That'd be good. He's a good player, good ruckman as well. So I think Nick and him had some good battles. So we just have to wait and see how that goes.
It's a big week on the sporting calendar for WA and the public, isn't it? How big a week is it for the players these days?
Yeah, look, it gets spoken about a fair bit now you're around. It's, I think when I first came in, it was built up a lot, and I think the players really wanted to get stuck in, and there was still that physicality. I think the way the football was played now, 30 years ago, it's not played how it is, but there certainly is increased intensity about the game, and it's probably more when you're walking down the street and you're going and having a coffee. A lot of your fans go, supporting, hope you can win, get bragging rights. So from a player's point of view, you want to win all the games, but this game just has probably more intensity, especially from the start.
You guys can equal the record win streaks they're doing this weekend, which is set by the Eagles at the start of the sort of the rivalry. Are you aware of that? Is it something that you want for that?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I understand that there's records always in football with everything, but I think you just want to keep winning. That's the thing. So it doesn't matter if we're playing Fremantle or another opposition. You just want to keep winning, especially towards the end of the year. You want to make sure you're playing some good football. And I think we're trying to do that. So that's what our focus is being on. But certainly you want to keep winning as much as possible.
Do you feel like you have a psychological edge over them, given it has been?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've always, because I reckon they must have won 6 or 7 in a row against us as well. And you always understand that those games are close, and I still think they are. And they'll be no different this week. So I don't think there is that psychological thing against certain teams. But no doubt we'll have to play well, because even though they haven't won their last 2, they've certainly been in and around the games all year. So we understand it's going to be a hard game.
The ladder is sort of opening up for you at the moment. Kind of losing, GWS losing. Does that narrow the focus of just got to make the most of the opportunities you've got in front of you to try to get that top 2 spot?
Yeah, well, it does get spoken about from making sure, what you want to be able to do is win as many games as you can. So wherever that puts you is wherever you finish. You don't want to rely on things going your way. If they do fall your way, that's awesome, but you just need to make sure that we're playing good football and get enough wins. It certainly gets spoken about. If you can finish in that top 4, it helps with a double chance, and if you can get a home final. But I reckon you've seen in the past few years, like Bulldogs have done it, all you need to be able to do is qualify for the finals, and then anything can happen. But that's still 8 weeks away, 9 weeks away. So we're not too fussed about how that's going. We just want to keep winning and keep playing good football.
What did you make of the way Fremantle finished the game yesterday? I mean, can you take some learnings from the way Carlton were able to claw their way back in that last quarter?
Oh, mate, I didn't see the game. I only saw some of the highlights on the TV. But, I think, the type of conditions that it always makes the game a bit close. But I think that's been with football any time this year. It doesn't matter if you're 5 goals up or 5 goals down. You can certainly, if you're 5 goals down, you can win. If you're up, you can lose. But it's just making sure you're doing the basic things when games are tight and when it's close. Our game was no different when we played Hawthorn. I mean, they got a run on in the third quarter and then chopped and changed a little bit in the last quarter. So it's just doing the basic fundamentals of the game well.
You've won 3 of the last 4 when getting Allen medals. What is it about this game that makes you take your game to the next level?
I always try to play a consistent style of footy. I think in the past few years, I reckon the ball's been down back a bit too much for the liking. It'd be nice if it was down the other end. So it's no different. I think we've always made sure that personally I've been trying to play team football. That's the go. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not. So my focus won't be any different going in trying to win a medal or not. It's more about going in, making sure I can play good football for the team, help out, working with the backs, and just take it from there.
What have you
Next
made?
time on a target, you did offer a bit more attention to prevent the success you've had against them.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I wouldn't say I've been the difference in winning a game or not. I certainly think any football's won through the midfield battle. So if you can get the ball going forward, and that'll be our focus this week, is making sure we can get that right and get it into our forwards.
What have you made of the Dockers season so far? They've lost to Gold Coast and Carlton, but then they've beaten really good teams away.
Yeah, I think that's just been football in the teams this year. It just shows how close it is. I think football now is just a lot built about pressure and how you're going about the football. I think the game's still skillful, but it's just there's so much pressure and intent, and if you don't bring that, I think you're very susceptible. So that's what the game's about now. You've got to be 100% switched on all the time. I reckon when I first started, and a bit before that, I reckon you could just float through, roll up, and you could win, but you can't do that anymore. So I think that's just football in general.
What sort of reaction are you expecting from the Dockers, given it was such a disappointing result for them yesterday?
Well, I'm not sure. I really don't know, mate. They've always been playing. I think they always play to win, as we play to win. So we can't really control what opposition do. We just have to make sure that we're switched on, we're prepared to how the opposition could play. Then making sure that we adapt to what the game is doing, but also being positive in the way we're playing.
And in terms of their strengths, what areas have you highlighted that really?
Yeah, well, we'll get into that through in the week, but I think they've always had a pretty good strong midfield. I think their backline's been playing some pretty good football this year, and they've got some dangerous forwards too. So I think in general, all over the field, they're quite dangerous if you let them have their way.
Luke Shuey in the weekend really stood up when the game was tight in the last quarter. He stepped up.
Yeah, he's certainly playing some good football, Luke. And I think he just understands about his role and his style of play and how he can impact the game. I think our midfield this year, as they did last year, work together well, and they understand who can get the best advantage. So sometimes that's Redden, sometimes it's Yowie, sometimes it's Lucas Shuey. So I think what he's been able to do has been fantastic this year.
Shannon, Jeremy McGovern back into the side this week. You got the job done without him on the weekend. How important is he the way he's set up, especially against the Dockers?
Yeah, look, you always want your good players playing. Gov's one of them. He will, fit in pretty well, but it's just, because of his ability to defend and intercept marked, really helps us, but also gives the opposition something to work with. So we'll just be making sure that when he comes in, still working together. Not sure how that'll work as well. Tommy Barras has been pretty fit, just didn't quite get up on the weekend. So there'll be some selection that Simo and the coaches will have to do.
Do you think Barras comes straight in? Is he good enough? Is he healthy enough at the moment? Does he need another run on the wall?
Yeah, well, I think he's healthy enough and good enough to do that. It'll just depend on whether he needs to have another run. So it's always nice to have a bit of continuity before you come in and play. But if he doesn't, I don't think that'll be an issue either.
Is there someone who could take on the sort of Hutchings run with role this weekend, or do you think just about it, or go to the together?
No, I'm not sure. I mean, the way Hutchie plays his footy is pretty good, and there's not too many people in the league that can do that and play a shutdown role like him. We'll have a couple of players I think might be able to do that if need be through the midfield. It won't probably necessarily be a complete shutdown role, but it'll probably be more if it's around stoppages, down back or up forward, just making sure that whoever it is doesn't have an influence on the game.
James Cripps fell on the weekend, kicked 3 goals.
Yeah. All our forwards and Jamie have been doing a pretty good job. So we understand that their work rate that they provide for us is pretty good. And you got Darling and Kennedy and at times another tall up there who can provide a contest. So I think we're pretty well rounded in the forward lines, just making sure you can get it in there. And what Cripper was able to do was pretty good. So if he's not kicking goals, other blokes kicking goals, but it's mainly the main thing that we need them to do is just keep putting on pressure. But their job is to kick goals.
Shannon, a couple of weeks ago, there was the video with Andrew Gaff kicking a goal, and Nathan Barney saying when he said to him, I know Simo said at the time, we apologise to the Brayshaw family, but he also said that they book it if you have to have a chat to Vardy or anything like that. Did anything come out of that at all? No, there hasn't. I mean, we've apologised because we're not, don't like what happened and don't condone it at all. So we've apologised for that as a club and to everyone. But we've had a chat to Vards, and he understands it's just a bit disappointing. But it's one of those things with football. We'll keep moving on. Did you have a role in that as skipper?
No, it's just been a couple of other players, but you don't want everyone trying to talk to your players. Like if you just make sure one player does that. So Simo got to have a chat, and I think it's gone down pretty well.
Do you have any idea about the severity of his knee?
in the weekend?
No, I don't. We're talking about it today, so I think he's getting scanned today, and then I'll do this afternoon, and then we'll find out. But the initial reports are that he reckons it's not too bad.
So it's no ACL, not concerned.
Well, he doesn't believe so. No. So that's always a positive sign, but you never know until you get that confirmation.
Just second with Gaffy, what sort of reception do you expect him to get this week?
Oh yeah, not sure. It might be, there'll probably be a few cheers and a couple of boos going on. But I think what Gaffy's been able to do is throughout all this year is play his best football, and you can block that out. So when he first came back against Collingwood, when we played him again in the Derby, but I think what him and Brayshaw were able to do was they've handled it quite well. And those two players, and especially Gaffy, they just want to get on and keep playing football.
Okay, a bit dirty about his goal streak coming to an end?
Not sure. Was that not?
It was 68 and done. Yeah.
Was a 68 game straight? He did. He might know that, but look, he's been such a good player, and of course you want your forwards to be kicking goals. But we saw Jack pop up on the weekend and kick 5, so I think those two work together quite well.
As a South Australian captaining the West Australian team, there's debate now about the state of origin with the government to get together and discussing things and growing the AFL.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on?
To have a state of origin, well, it wouldn't be too bad to play in one. I think it's just trying to find the time, and that's just the hardest thing. So whether that's mid-season bye, end of the year, it's always a hard thing. I think as a player, you have that responsibility to your club because that's who you get employed to. But I think if it came up, all players would love to put their hand up and be able to play.
Is there a thirst for it?
I'm not sure. Probably not as strong as what the NRL is. But I think if there was an opportunity, I think players would like to play. But I wouldn't say there's a real strong demand.
How keen would you be to play for South Australia?
Well, I think any time you get to represent your state would be really good. But as I said, it would come down to where is it put during the calendar year. That would always be the hard thing, because I think for me, I'd want to play for West Coast, and then outside of that, be able to represent state.
So would it need to be pre-season then to get over?
Yeah, it'll probably have to be pre-season or post-season somewhere. But then that's hard too, because what if you finish 4 weeks earlier or don't play finals, and then when is it? Yeah.
We saw a lot of players put their hand up for the AFLX sort of concept. Would a financial incentive of the state government's prepared to come to the party with financial incentive, would that help the player play, do you think? Or?
No, I don't think so too much. No, I think players would just enjoy playing football. So I don't think it'd matter about the monetary wise and how much it was. I think it's more just the timing and where it was put. I think that's the main thing. We've spoken about the length of the pre-season. I think you certainly need to have a lengthy pre-season to get yourself prepared to play well. And where you had it is always a hard thing. So it is either, as I've said, pre-season or end of the season.
Rivalries in general, there's the Eagles players who were around at the start of the state of Derby rivalry, spoken about how they sort of never wanted to lose to the Dockers. There was a rivalry between, say, Hawthorn and Geelong after Jeff Kennett's comments, and the Geelong players really didn't want to lose to Hawthorn. I mean, what does it take to generate that sort of mindset in a professional environment today? Is it still room for it?
I don't think they're as strong as what they used to be. That's for sure. I think players now, each game, just because of the way the industry is and the way we get spoken about all the time, is just make sure you win every week. So it's not like we're playing Team A this week, we have to get up, and then we're playing Team B, so who cares, don't worry about that. I think every team just wants to play well every week. When I first came in, certainly you hear about all the stories about the first derbies, and they certainly wanted to win, like the bragging rights. But I think as the rivalries kept going on, you certainly want to win. But I think from a player's point of view, it's not quite as big as what it used to be.
Do you reckon the players between clubs, the friendships there are stronger than maybe 20 years ago?
Probably. I think the AFLX has seen that. Blokes go away on tours, and then towards the end of the year you get to see players. So I think there's a fair bit of that. But it's more, I think, because it's national competition now. You have a lot of juniors playing together. So when you're 16, 17, 18, get drafted, same team, play against each other. So I think there's a fair bit of that. And it's the same in cricket. Like cricket's got all the different competitions. So I certainly think everyone plays to win. But that, everyone understands each other and everyone's pretty good, better mates now.